what Arteta said in his press conference prior to Kyra about allowing a bit more freedom on the pitch, players going out there and expressing themselves and delivering a bit more. I've seen it. I can't lie, I've seen it in the last few games, but we need to continue that on because the 6 games that we're going to play in the league from now until the cup final is going to be very, very important that we maintain that 6-point gap. If not, hopefully extend that because we've got some tough fixtures coming in there. You know, we've got Chelsea at home, Tottenham away, Brighton away. That's 3 tough fixtures. I look at City's fixtures. I think City have got the potential to win all their games up until that cup final. And that cup final for me is the key game for both Arsenal and City.
The thing though, sorry Brandon, on the Havertz Gyökeres thing that everyone's getting excited about, they've only played about 80 minutes together, I think, all told. I think they've only played about 80 minutes on the pitch together, and everyone's getting raps and lyrical about it. I'm at the point now where I didn't want Havertz back in the team, never wanted him back in the team. But I'm at the point now where it's once Odegaard's not in the team, that's how bad he has been. That I'm going, well, if it's Eze, if it's Havertz, I'd even take Marino before the injury. That's how it's just once he gets out of the team because he's poisonous to the team. He slows everything down. Everything's around him when he's not good enough. And the difference is as well with you're talking about the free flowing football is now that Arteta has someone that he can trust in the 10 on their own. He's allowing Rice and Zubamendi to play as a double pivot. Before that, if it's Odegaard, he has to push Rice forward to protect them all the time. And then Zubamendi gets left on his own, at least with the double pivot that we've all been screaming for. That's what we get to see. And the key word that Dan said there was pressure. Will they handle the pressure? That's where we get to see the real Arsenal all the time is when the pressure kicks in or when the pressure is ramped up. And if people are saying that this is the worst City team in a decade and the best Arsenal team in 2 decades, why are we only 6 points clear? They're in a cup final. They're through in the FA Cup. They're into the knockout stage in the Champions League as well. But it's the worst ever City side. So if they put any form of a run together, I worry for us. If they win their next 6, like you said, I do worry for us that we'll start to trip up. Because I think even if we're 6 points clear when we play them, if they beat us and they have a better goal difference, I think we'll stumble in one of the last games when the pressure is on, when the pressure's really on, because we know what this guy does. And you mentioned about Odegaard there. Does anyone really think he won't shoehorn him back in? He'll shoehorn him back in. It's Odegaard. He will shoehorn him back in.
You know what, Shane? I agree with you to an extent. With Odegaard, I don't think he will, because against Leeds, I think he was fit and he benched him anyway. He came on after and then he got injured. I think he's realised that Odegaard doesn't really suit our style right now. I agree that he slows it down. He hasn't been.
No, I'm sure he's willing to drop him for one game to show that he will after the boos against United. He's a politician. Of course, he's going to do what the people want.
I don't know. I think we're playing better football without him in the team. I'm not the biggest fan of Havertz either. I agree with you. We've looked better since he's come in. I was at the Sunderland game. The football we played was maybe not first half an hour, but we grew into that game. A bit of quality from outside the box from Zubamendi, and then we, weren't really under any pressure.
Just on that as well, Christian, before you move away from that point, I think people have got to go and look back at Zubamendi, for example. He scored 6 goals in the league this season, right? You look at them 6 goals and where they've come from. Predominantly, a few of them have happened outside of the box, but the positions where he's picking up to score these goals is predominantly positions that Odegaard would have picked up on the pitch. So that is another factor as well.
That's because Rice is freeing him up by being able to drop back beside him.
Can I just say the emphasis is on Odegaard, but isn't anyone worried about other players' forms as well? Because Saka's
There's
not
a lot
really
of bad forms. Saka's fallen off a cliff.
Saka's been falling off of a cliff. I mean, we're all aiming on Odegaard, which is rightly so. But Madueke is an awful player. Let's be real. He's terrible.
Thanks.
He's no replacement for Saka. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to go down the road of pressure because it tells you everything you need to know from Arsenal fans when they're praying for other teams to beat their rivals. Everyone's praying for Fulham to beat Man City. If we take care of business and we're that good and we've got that squad depth, we shouldn't be worried about what Fulham.
I agree, DJB. I agree.
We should just be going and taking care of our own business.
I agree to an extent, DJ. You still want it to be easier, right?
Let me talk. The fact that we worry about other teams having to beat City shows there's that vulnerability that we still are not 100% confident.
No, I completely disagree. Completely disagree.
But what I'm trying to say,
it would have been 9 points. Obviously, every Arsenal fan would want it to be 9 points rather than 6.
Yeah. But we had that opportunity, didn't we? A pressure game against Liverpool at home at the Enfield, at the Emirates. We could have gone 9 points clear. We didn't. Man United 3-2 at home. 10 men Chelsea. We could have gone clear. We didn't. So there are still those opportunities that we have had in pressurised situation this season. And no matter how brilliant we've been playing, and deservedly so at the top, 6 points clear, I'm over the moon, there's still those question marks that keep coming up now and then that puts fans on the back foot by saying, can we? Are we? As I said, there have still been games this season when we've had the opportunity to capitalise and we haven't. And whilst those opportunities are there, you're always going to have the question marks. And going back to players, Saka's not the player. So I know we're emphasising on Odegaard, and rightly so. But what worries me going forward in these next 13 games is Man City have got some lethal weapons coming out of injury. They've got some big players coming into their team, right? We've got players in our team.
Who have they got? Who's their big players coming into their team?
They've got Diaz coming back. They've got Doku coming back. They've got options. They've got Stones coming back.
No, but DJB, to be fair,
you just close to back.
I'm not
Diaz is already
comparing,
back.
but hear me out. Just hear me out a minute. The problem is with Arsenal at the moment, what worries me, and I'm not worried, I still think that we've got a great chance of winning the league, and I still think we'll get the job done.
You just said what worries you, but then you say you're not worried.
But no.
You're worried or not?
Yeah, no. What concerns me is that we've got Madueke now in the team that's not really good enough. We've got Odegaard that's out of form. You've got Trossard that had a brilliant game against Sunderland, but up until Sunderland, he'd gone back to his old ways again where he was a bit hit and miss. Martinelli comes off the bench. He's not a 90-minute player, so we can't really rely on him for 90 minutes. He's inconsistent. Gyökeres, he still don't know whether that's his main striker or not. He's still trying to make his mind up whether Gyökeres should start or whether he should come off the bench, whether he should start Jesus. So there's all these question marks still to be answered. And when you're going for a title, all these players that I've mentioned that are not quite on form have got to be put in sort of Declan Rice kind of games in 8, 9 out of 10 performances. And we haven't got that. And what I'm saying is...
Can I just ask you real quick before you move on, DJ, right?
Yeah.
City haven't got that, though. Because,
no,
again...
Exactly. City hasn't got it. But
the point that I'm saying is like you're talking about our players, and that's granted, fair enough. There's a lot of players there that are not reaching peak form. There's a lot of City players that are not reaching peak form right now. Let's just be honest about it.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not really worried about what City do. It's what we do. And what I'm trying to say is for us to sort of not ask the questions and not keep having all this debate about, are we good enough? Are we going to bottle it? Let's just go and take care of our own business and not worry about what other teams do with City. And we can do that, but I'm just saying there are still players that have got to step up to the mark. We've still got players in this team that are not firing on all. I see.
Do you know what it is, DJ?
He's half the player he was.
Yeah, I agree. But what gets to me is
a worry.
Is that City are meant to have had this implosion over December, January. They've never seen anything like it. They went into December 7 points behind us. They've gained a point on us during their implosion. So what's that say about us? Technically, we've been worse than them. We've been a point worse off than them. And they've got Rodri back, by the way, who's starting to pick up a bit of form. And he's been out for, let's just say, all told, most of the season. He's their Declan Rice. Imagine us without Declan Rice since the start of the season.
I just don't get this City gas at all.
And they have him to come back
with them. I haven't been convinced with them all season. You say Rodri's picking up form. He played away against Spurs a couple of weeks ago. It was 2-0 up at half time. He was shocking in the second half.
Yeah,
they
picking
drew
up 2-2.
He should have been sent off twice. He wasn't even good at Anfield. Like you say, Liverpool gifted him that game.
He was brilliant at Anfield.
Brilliant.
He was
brilliant. Well, your definition of brilliant is different to mine then, because I didn't see a brilliant Rodri on that.
Wouldn't you say
it is because you say Odegaard's brilliant. So.
In this Arsenal team, though, that are just showing signs of kind of whether it's fatigue, whether they're showing signs of carrying injuries. I just want to go and feel really, really confident. And as I said, everyone's looking at Odegaard, but there are other players that are struggling to form at the moment, and it's a worry.
All right, let me bring D in because D was going to come in. Go on, D.
Now, my point is, to me, I feel like anyone that thinks that a league is going to be easy to win is kind of got the wrong idea and the wrong angle. There's never been Premier Leagues are not easy to win. You have to earn them, and this is going to happen where they're going to have twists and turns, roller coasters. That's what happens in the title race. So far, when we're talking about are we going to handle the pressure, like of course you're going to always think, oh, can we, can't we? But so far we have. Like the fact of the matter is, everyone's talking about City this and City that. City are no closer last week than they are this week. It's the same 6 points that they were. Yes, they had a good game against Liverpool and they ended up breaking their hoodoo. That's not our concern. That doesn't change anything to do with what we were doing. We
and you know what the thing is, D? Sorry to interrupt, but beating Liverpool at Anfield, I know we didn't do it. Cool. You talk about us. Nottingham Forest went there and beat Liverpool 3-0. I don't see it as this massive season-defining win. And I watched the game, so City didn't impress me. If I watched them and they blitzed Liverpool like they did when they played them at Etihad at the start of the season, yeah, they absolutely destroyed them. It's not like it kick-started their season. The City were awful after that. I don't see this kick-starting the end of their season either. Like, I'm just not convinced by Manchester City.
We haven't been blitzing teams either, to be fair. I know you say we play the best football in the league, which is just outrageous, by the way, to make that claim. But we haven't been blitzing teams either. Not for 90 minutes.
We play the best football in the Champions League as well, which is why we won 8 out of 8.
Fucking hell, man. There's no point. There's no point.
Who plays
the best
better football
in
than
the league.
us? Who plays better football? Tell me.
Bournemouth play better football than us. Villa play better football than us. Better football. Being the top doesn't mean you play the best football. It's not about how they beat us. They beat us though at Villa Park as well. Didn't
we had Saliba
when
and
your
Gabriel
captain was
missing.
doing his little jig. Oh, the excuses. There they are. Sorry, Villa had 3 players missing from that. They had their whole midfield missing. The best football. Do you understand what good football looks like? This isn't good football.
Yeah, the best football is the team that generates the most points.
No. That's the most.
Oh, you're talking about
the
the best football in the eye, right? Aesthetically, maybe. Is that what you're talking about?
You said best football. You said best.
So is that what you want?
That can only mean one thing.
Do you want a team that looks good, or do you want a team that wins the league? Can I ask you a question?
No. I didn't ask that. That wasn't the question. That wasn't the question.
I'm saying, what do you want?
You claimed we play the best football. No. I questioned
because you got the most points.
You said we play the best football.
Shane, what do you want?
You didn't say that. You didn't say we have the most
points. Finish fifth and play the best football.
No. You said we played the best football.
Because we played the best football in your definition.
I questioned what you said.
22-23 and 23-24. We didn't win the league.
We didn't play the best football those years either. Why are you saying we played the best football? What's that got to do with points?
This is like being at a Greek souvla.
I am Greek, actually, Sophie, so shout out.
Are you Christian? Yes, no.
What are you saying, Soph?
Oh, I'm good, Dan. How are you? Thanks for having me, Potsy. It's good to be here with everyone.
Talk to me.
I was just wondering if Shane's an Arsenal fan.
I'm always wondering that, Sophie, trust me.
Well, not a cheerleader, if that's what you want to know. There's a difference between a cheerleader and a fan. A cheerleader cheers even if the team is 0-17 and their only job is to notch off the quarterback every now and then.
But Shane, I thought you wanted trophies and titles. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. And you said they weren't that important.
Well, no.
A lot of your side have been playing down trophies. It's all about building. It's all about emotions. It's all about. No, your side have claimed that for a long, long time that trophies aren't important just to defend.
Me or my side? I don't know what that really means.
Your side.
I want titles. That is the most important thing for me. Of course it is.
I have a question
Why did you try and keep him in the job
I have a
last
question.
season?
Sorry, Shane, could I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Who's played better football than Arsenal in the Premier League this season?
Villa have, Bournemouth have, City have at times. We played dire football. Name any team that played better.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Would you rather play like Aston Villa?
No, that wasn't the question, though.
Wait.
I just asked him
I have
why
a
he
follow-up?
said that.
It's broadcasting. You get to do follow-up, right? Would you rather be Villa or Arsenal?
Of course, I'd rather be Arsenal.
Do you care? Here's my question, and I'm being genuine about this. Of any season, as Arsenal fans over the last 3 or 4, right? To me, I couldn't care less about your XG. I couldn't care less about your stats and your facts. I don't care who pivots, who pirouettes. I don't care who plays up front as long as we score goals. I don't care about performance. All I care is about points. This is the season to get the monkey off our back. How the title comes doesn't matter as long as it comes. I would love to win ugly sometimes. It's beautiful. But this idea that this Arsenal team are kind of luckily walking towards a Premier League title, and not playing good football. That my personal opinion is I don't think that's true. I think we've been smart, we've been clever. I think our football has been protective. I think in times when we've shown naivety, we're finally, building a team that starts from the back. We've been the dartboard for so long, going gung-ho, losing 5-1. So, Mikel's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. So this season, I think there's been this balance of, everyone wants Arsenal to be champagne, but we're this blue-collar team that's a little bit of a mix of George Graham and Mikel Arteta that is going into games, maybe not to lose them, but the way we're playing is elite, superior thinking football, I think, to anyone else. And this is coming from somebody who was not a Mikel Arteta fan for the first couple of seasons.
Okay, can I come in now? And
Go on, Shane.
Big up, nice to meet you and all that. Number one, I've said for years, I don't care about the football once we win, right? Number two,
but you just complained about it.
No, hang on. This is being twisted. I never complained about it. I asked Christian to explain why he said we play the best football. That was it. That's all I said. And yous have blown it up. All I said was explain why we play the best football. We don't play the best football. That was it. That's all I said. I didn't say I want to win the league playing good football. I didn't say that we play the worst football that you've ever seen. I didn't say that I want good football over trophies. I've constantly said that I want to win trophies, and I don't care how we do it. I just asked him to explain why he said we play the best football. That's it. That's all I asked.
Okay.
We don't play the best football. Simple
Okay,
enough.
let me bring Martin.
I think there's an argument to say that this season that the way we've played football is the best football.
No, there's not.
It's really, I don't think, getting enough credit. And the only reason it's not getting enough credit is because Mikel Arteta has zero pedigree in the bank when it comes to winning and getting this team over the line. So nobody respects us, not how we play, not, how we've adapted ourselves this season. No one gives a toss about any of that because we haven't won anything, and no one's going to respect us until we've won. So no one's really respecting our football at all, other than Arsenal fans who can kind of appreciate maybe seeing the bad side for so long and appreciating kind of like where we're at right now. I think it's been a season to just savor, and I hope he gets it over the line and this team gets it over the line because it's just, for me, I think that they've been great. I think they've handled themselves brilliantly in Europe and in the Premier League. 2 or 3 games where we've been dodgy, but overall, I think, Dan, we've been excellent this season.